Welcome along to Footy Talks for this Thursday lunchtime. Great to see everybody. Great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us once again. Stevie, magnificent backdrop today. I much prefer that to the library that you had a week ago.
Yeah, this is better, isn't it? There's not many more iconic stadiums than the new camp. Do you guys call it the Camp Nou or the new camp? This has been bugging me the last few days. Like, what is it officially?
I always used to call it, I think people in England called it New Camp, right?
Yeah.
But that's not actually correct. But people in England didn't tend to care whether things are correct or not, right? They call it, they anglicize it.
We make our own football dictionary, lads.
Exactly. So since I've moved here, I've started calling it Camp Nou or Camp Now.
Camp Nou. I could never call it Camp Nou. I'm going to stick to the New Camp. That's what it is to me. And that's
New Camp to me.
We can ask our guest a little later on.
Exactly. He's graced the field.
A better handle on things in terms of that. Victor Vazquez of TFC, former TFC man, is joining us. One of the things about iconic venues is just how they make you feel when you walk into an empty stadium. Getting to somewhere like Old Trafford 3 or 4 hours early, walking into the stadium, setting my stuff up in the press box when I was doing the radio, and just like having the time when there are only like a handful of people in there to look around this incredible place.
Yeah,
that's one of the places. The last time I got that feeling was walking into Parc des Princes for the Women's World Cup last summer. Just one of those iconic football venues. And I think, I mean, you've been there, KJ. It must be very similar going to somewhere like Camp Nou.
Yeah, one of my favourites. The way that you describe that, I actually get that feeling almost every professional sporting event I go to. I always try and get something to something early. The way I describe it, I like to see sporting venues wake up. And I have this obsession right now of continuing to think about all these stadiums, really for the first time in our lifetime, and the first time in many, many generations. And all of these stadiums around the world, no matter what sport you like, they're all asleep. They're all asleep right now. None of them have the lights on very often. None of them are having the seats occupied. None of them are coming to life the way that only we can do that. And Camp Nou was one of those. I've been there a couple of times. I went there with a couple of buddies I went with at the Score, and then I took my wife to Barcelona for a special birthday a few years ago, and we actually found time to go to a game on a Sunday night, and we got there pretty early, and I've got a picture of that stadium I took actually on my wall in my office. So it's a magical stadium. It's actually amazing when I went there, Stevie, that it was just all about the game. Walking the walls and walking the area behind this, there's really nothing. There's no pictures on the wall. There's no programs for sale. There's nothing. It was just, you're here to watch a footy match. Yeah. Sit down and watch a footy match, and that was it. And there's so much history, and of course, you know it very well. It's when you go in, it's actually dig into the ground as well. So it's very, very unusual in terms of the feeling of the place. But it's a magnificent place, and one of the highlights.
You got a close look at the bench there, Steve.
Yeah, I sat there a bit too long, but yeah, I'm thinking, listening to KJ go on there about it, and it has that amazing feeling. Any of these stadiums empty are just. They have an atmosphere empty, and then of course a brilliant atmosphere when they're full and they're noisy as well. But when you're driving up to the new camp, you don't appreciate how big it's going to be inside, because, like KJ says, it's under the ground. You kind of go down, and in some ways the changing area and the tunnels of these. I think the San Siro the same, which is another stadium I'm fortunate enough to again grace the bench and Luke, just before you get the words in, is the same. It's kind of like brick and old-fashioned, and it's not salubrious. It's not like Premier League changing grounds, but it's that atmosphere, it's the history of it, and you get in the new camp, you're sitting there, you go, okay, well, this is it, and then you get to steps, you go down a little bit. On the right-hand side is the famous chapel. And there's a little, chapel area where a few of the players go in and pray and can do whatever they need to do before the game. And that, to me, was just such a special moment to step in there and have a few moments and be thankful for what I was getting to experience down the steps, up onto the field. And I always remember the big part of that game, unfortunately for me, was the night before when we were training in the stadium. But it's the liveliest training session you've ever been part of. The guys were buzzing. It was like you were playing in the World Cup final and it was only practice. But because it was in the new camp, even when it's empty, it has this feel about it.
one of the reasons we have Victor Vazquez on today is, of course, TFC's match of the week this week is from the 2017 season. You can watch it on torontofc.ca on Friday night. It's the 5-0 win against Columbus. Victor Vazquez scored a couple of goals. But I wonder about Vasquez, and just watching back the 2017 MLS Cup when it was rebroadcast last week on TSN, and next week there's a show coming up on TSN called The Trilogy, which is looking back on all three of the Cup, MLS Cups. I think it's next Thursday it's going to run. But Victor Vazquez was a crucial part of that team and the change from 2016 to 2017. But do you think sometimes he gets overlooked in terms of his contribution because of Sebastian Giovinco, Josie Altidore, Michael Bradley, the 3 DPs, Stevie?
Not by me. I think he's one of the most influential players everywhere that had the TFC, and I feel that his impact was probably greater than any of the 3 DPs that you mentioned. I think the piece that he added to that team of 2017 was absolutely crucial. In the season that he performed, the TFC had their amazing treble. I think that the consistency and the quality with which he played with was something that I've never seen from a player with TFC, and maybe even in MLS. And I include Seba's 2015 season, where he was absolutely exceptional. I just can't believe how often this guy made the right decision. I commentated in all the games with you, Luke. We were all there, the 3 of us. But to choose the option that was the right one almost every time, KJ, over the course of a season, to me was remarkable. And just an absolute pleasure. I played against Victor, I think it was 2011 maybe, in the Europa League campaign when he was at Club Brugge. So I vaguely remembered him as being a very good player and an excellent Club Brugge team. But when I got to see him in person, I got to see his consistency of that season. I couldn't believe how good the guy was. I think far and away one of the most influential players in TFC history.
Yeah, look, I agree with that. You know, for me, he is the most intelligent signing Toronto FC have ever made. And it might not be the best signing. Maybe people say that's Giovinco, Altidore. The most intelligent signing, value on the dollar. What he provided for them was absolutely incredible. And you know, there's a couple of things that I want to say about Victor Vazquez that I think are very important for the way that TFC's legacy now is and reputation. One is that, for me, pressure does a funny thing to athletes. Pressure does you see many professional athletes in any sport. How do they battle against pressure? This guy loved pressure. This guy excelled at the elite level. No game I've ever seen was too big for him. No moment was too big for him. And he elevated that level of tension to the point where it was easy for that team to develop how we can contend with pressure. And in 2017, his quality was immense in that team. The second thing, too, is, which I also think doesn't get talked about enough in team building sometimes, because maybe inside the team they don't care, but he made Toronto FC likable. You know, everybody, no matter whether you detest TFC, if you're a Whitecaps fan, nobody could argue with the fact that everybody loved to watch Victor Vazquez play. Because Sebastian Giovinco was a stone-cold killer when he came to MLS. And everyone admired the way he played. But what Vasquez brought with his vision of pass and what he saw in the game, these guys are entertainers. People pay a lot of money to go watch these people, even in Major League Soccer. And Vasquez brought something that nobody before or since has done in the red of Toronto FC. And that's what made him so crucial, and why I think for years and years and years, he'll be welcomed back at TFC with standing ovation, because people will remember. People never forget how you make them feel. And Victor Vazquez made people feel warm and fuzzy and great because he was playing on an exceptionally level for TFC for 2 years.
Victor Vazquez is joining us. He's on the line here on Footy Talks. Producer Kev is going to bring him into the conversation. He'll just be on the line in just a moment or two's time as we look back. Hi, Victor. Great to see you. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. Thank you. Nice to see you also.
We're good. And Stephen, I don't know if you can see his screen, but he's put Camp Nou behind him to make you feel a little bit at home there. So
that's so funny.
How are you and the family? You staying safe?
Yeah, here in Qatar, it's quite good. We are safe. We can still go out for a walk. We can exercise also outdoors. And okay, we are happy, but in one way we are also sad because we are far from our family in Spain that they are having hard moments.
Lots of TFC fans on the line here. Plenty of questions coming in. They're watching all across Toronto, but around the world as well. We've had messages as well, people tuning in. So I appreciate you giving your time to us today to be with them. Specifically, Toronto FC is re-showing a game tomorrow night from the 2017 season, a 5-0 win against Columbus. They're showing that on the club website tomorrow night, and you scored a couple of goals in that. But it was during a run where the team had... That was got to be the 8th unbeaten match. You'd played 6, you'd won 6, then you drew, I think it was in New York against the Red Bulls, and came back home and beat Columbus without Jozy Altidore that night, without Sebastian Giovinco. When you look back at that 2017 season, just how good was the team playing during that stretch when you were approaching an MLS record for the number of wins in a row?
Yeah, for me, the reminders about TFC, everything, it's amazing. I got in a team that it was already built, and that because they were unlucky, I think they missed the MLS Cup in 2016. And then, like I said, I got a team that it was already built, that it was too easy for me to fit in this team, because also like all the staff, all the players helped me a lot, like I always said. And of course, if you have the quality, if you have these skills that I have, then it's easy also to fit in a team like that. Then with Sebastian, with Jozy, it was too easy for me to give this kind of assist you were talking about, because when you have also killers, smart players in front of you, it's easy to play with. And also the guys behind, like with Bradley, with all the defenders, like with all, because I was coming from a bad moment in Mexico, that it was really hard for me and for my family, and Toronto just opened the doors for me, and it was an unbelievable season. I cannot explain by words, because every time that I look back at this year is for me the best year of my career for sure.
And do you think, Victor, that the reason for your consistency and enjoyment with the football was, basically the city of Toronto accepting you in, the quality of that team? Did you feel free? Did that allow you to go and play some of the best football of your career?
Yeah, 100% agree. When you have freedom during the trainings, during the games, you have a coach and the staff like Greg Vanney, Robin Fraser, all the guys around them. It's too easy to work with this kind of staff or guys. And this is what we felt. They already felt that in the 2016. For me, it was a new era, but I felt like I was playing for TFC like a couple years ago. Then that's why you start to enjoy from the first minute. I got in Orlando, I think it was, the preseason, it was in Orlando. And immediately I feel like I was there like from months ago. Also talking with Seba, with Jozy, with Michael, with everyone. And I feel like home. And that's why when you get in the pitch, you feel free and you feel happy, and you show whatever you can bring to the team, you show it.
Victor, great to speak to you again. You made some great passes for Toronto FC during your time. It's hard to really pick one of the favourites. I'll tell you my favourite. I think my favourite pass that I saw you ever play to was to Jozy Altidore for the goal against Columbus. It's just a short pass, but the ball is slowing down, and Jozy just pushes the ball across. Maybe give us some of your highlights from that 2017 playoff run, because it was tight, wasn't it, before you got to the final?
Yeah, I can remember also this game because I missed the penalty in the first half, and it was a bit tough for me in the half time. But I know that I'm strong, and I knew that we're gonna achieve this final. And no matter what, if I miss the penalty, for me it's not to make goals. I say it always. For me, the most important is the collective way to make assists, to give assists to my teammates. And I give this assist to Jozy, that his finishing was amazing, like always he did. And it was crazy times. I couldn't stand on my feet because I look at Seba, he was running all over the pitch. I looked Jozy going to the fans, all the people on the bench running over all the field. It was an amazing moment. And in this moment, I forget about the PK for sure.
Lots of different memories coming in from people here as well. And Chrissy says you gave her your last Toronto FC jersey, and she asks, what was your favourite goal that you scored for Toronto?
Okay, for me, the most special one can be this one that tomorrow you're going to show, the 5-0 against Columbus, the free kick down the wall. because I think it's a special one. Because I tried many times. It worked only one time in Belgium. And because I came new to MLS, I thought that maybe no one see me trying this. Yeah. And I had the chance, and I wanted to do something special, and it worked out. So happy for that, because I saw many players doing this, like Messi, like Ronaldinho before. And for me, it was the best goal I scored with Toronto.
So were you thinking about doing that before the game started, Victor, or was it something that you just felt when the free kick was awarded?
No, every time I got on the field, I know Seba always was there also, and all the free kicks was for him, because of course he has this talent also, his skill. But when I got the ball and Michael said to me, "You're gonna shoot this free kick," in my mind it was just put it under the wall. Doesn't matter what, but put it under the wall, because the keeper also was already in the far post. He was waiting also there, because maybe I could shoot there, because it was really close to the goal. And I see a lot of big guys on the wall, and I say, this is my time. I have to do it.
This match would go on to finish 5-0 for TFC on a night when I think it was Ricketts and Ben Spencer started up front. It was a very strange team.
Yeah.
There goes Victor.
Perfect. And a goalkeeper of Zach Steffen's quality as well.
Yeah, exactly. But he went fast to the ball. He almost catch it there.
Yeah. Just right under where the people jump.
Yeah, this kid. Yeah. So nice reminders.
There you go. So that's your favourite. That's your favourite goal in Toronto.
Yeah, it's my favorite because it's the most special one. That's it.
This was a game where you guys completely dominated, didn't you, Victor? You were on top. But to me, the key to this game, and probably to that entire season, was how ruthless you were as a team when the chances came. Do you remember that being a significant element of the quality of this team, that when you guys were on top, you managed to score at important times throughout that entire season?
Yeah, I think we were lucky because we get used to work on this way and to find always the good moments to score the goals and keep strong in every game, because it's not easy when you are, like you said, winning like 6 games in a row or 7 games in a row. Sometimes the players let it go because you think you have already done everything. And it's like I always say, because the people always talk about Barca, Madrid, but I always say that Barca for me is more consistent. It's true that maybe Madrid has more trophies or whatever, but the way plays Barca is so difficult to play nowadays. And I think we were pretty close to the Barca way in that time, because the players we had, because the system we were playing, because we could change the system, because Greg thought that maybe working 4-3-3 was better than 3-5-2, and everything around the players, we adjust to whatever Greg said or whatever we need on the pitch. If Seba is not there, we had Josie and Taz. If I wasn't there, Marky and Oso were amazing. If Bradley was suspended, then Marky was doing Bradley's job. I think everything was that perfect that we must win this MLS Cup, because it was the moment. And even more, with the past year that they were so unlucky, then I think God put it to us right there. Yes, you have to do it. You have the players. You have all the thing around TFC that is amazing. Just do it.
Of course, everyone knows that the regular season went so well for you guys in 17, Victor, but the playoffs were a different matter, and there was a lot of pressure games during that run. And I always used to look at the field and see you as one of the calmest players there. You look like you're always above the madness of the stadium. And I guess that there's no better place to learn that than Barcelona. If you can play football at Barcelona, you can pretty much play anywhere in the world. Tell us a little bit about that experience growing up and coming through the first team there.
For this answer, you have the right background now. When you play with 100,000 people, I think you are not afraid about anything else in football. Because to play with 100,000 people and in Barcelona, that you have to win yes or yes every time. Okay, I didn't play that much in the first team, but I had some games with them. You feel that, okay, I can play everywhere. I could play here with all these guys that they are the best players in the world. Then when I get to Bruges, when I go to Mexico, when I get to TFC, it was easy for me. I'm also a really calm guy when I get to a situation like it's a final or a PK or something like that, because I have this, maybe it's like a skill or whatever, but I'm like this. And I love it because I try to help it as much as I can, because some guys cannot handle that. And when you get on a final like 2017, that all the reminders is coming to these guys that they were playing this final in 2016, or for example to Michael, that he missed penalty or whatever, you try to help it. And I think I did my job. I was trying to be calm myself first, because it's a final, and whatever you are, always you have something inside that you don't want to lose, that you want to do it as better as possible. And for me, it was great to go out there in this cold Toronto, because for me it was the coldest time to play, -10, I remember, or -11, whatever. And it was great because I feel like really hot and really calm, and I see my teammates and I say, we're going to do it. It's going to be amazing. And of course, we killed them. I think it was one of the best games in 2017.
And of course, Eric sent in a message about the fact that you had that last goal, the clinching goal.
The lucky goal.
Holding the jersey in front of the South End. He says that's one of the all-time visuals in TFC history. That moment must have been, because that was the moment really when after, and it was only a year there by that time that you'd been at BMO at TFC, but for all the TFC fans and people who'd worked there from day one, they'd experienced all these years of disappointment, all these years when it didn't go right, they didn't make the playoffs, because even at 1-0, people were thinking, okay, this could still go wrong, right? Even though they were playing so well. But that was the moment, I think, when everyone was allowed to think, okay, they've done it. They're winning MLS Cup. And your celebration is a special moment there.
Yeah, this moment for me also was one of the best moments of my life, for sure. Everything come to my mind. I spoke with my family the night before. We were talking with my friends to make something special also. And it come up. One of my best friends, he said, if you score a goal, you have to do like Leo Messi. I know you are not like this, because I'm not like this. And all my celebrations always was with the heart to my family, to my kid, to my family in Spain. But okay, it's a final. It's a moment that you have to show something special, because it's going to happen once in your life. And I will always say, I was really lucky. And for sure, it's my ugliest goal in my career, for sure. Because it hit me everywhere on my body. I think first in the leg, after in my hip, after in my belly, everywhere. But it was a goal. And I feel bad for Armando, because he did all the action. But at the end, I was there. And this is like, remembers me when I was a striker, when I was really young and I was playing as a striker, that you have always this kind of smell that you have to be around the box always, because the ball can drop there and you want to score it. And then finally I got it. And it was, I think, the life gave me this gift, because of all this happened in 2016 to me also.
Great point. I love that point that you said at the end about the life giving you a gift. You can't say this, so I will. It was fitting that you scored the goal and not Armando Cooper. I'm just going to say that. Sometimes the ball has its own life, and no offense to Armando Cooper, but Victor Vazquez, one of the greatest TFC players of all time, was supposed to score that goal, and he did. Let me ask you, Victor, how are you doing physically? Because I know you did struggle through injuries the last time we saw you in 2018. I have a follow-up question I'll get to in a second, but how are you physically right now playing in Qatar?
I'm lucky now. I didn't get injured since I left Toronto. It's hard to say that, but the last season in Toronto for me was a bit hard with all the things happening on my back and on my knee. But yeah, I'm good. Now here, everything is also canceled. They are working on it maybe to work again and to play again around 15th of May to finish the season, because it's only 5 games left. And I have contract also until 30th of June. My contract finished now the 30th of June. And I'm looking to maybe another option, new option, because I don't know what to do. I'm still feeling really good. I'm still talking also with a lot of people from TFC, because for me also it will be amazing to come back one day to Toronto, because we love it. But the football life is like this. We had to take this chance, because for my family, And for myself, it was a great chance. I know that some people can understand it because the football here is not that good as Major League Soccer. And I already said to them that I really miss to play in the MLS because it's really competitive. I miss to go to the other states to play. I miss to play with TFC fans in front and with the TFC teammates. But the life is changing a lot in football life. And now keeping safe home, keeping calm the people in Spain, because all the people in Spain is having hard moments. We are lucky that all our family is safe and good. And for the rest, just trying to work out as much as possible. And also with the kid, because the kid demands a lot of things also.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let me just follow up with that. Obviously, you just talked about maybe coming back to Toronto FC at some point. You didn't get a chance to really address the fans when you left. I know that TFC did. In fact, I think it needs to be said that Toronto FC were extremely classy as an organization when you left. It would have been easy to say that it was good business for them to decide to sell somebody who just had injuries, and they talked nothing about how good you were, and fans gave a bit of them a hard time for letting you go. I thought they were very good during that process. But maybe you can share with the fans now how difficult that process was for you and your family to decide to leave at that time.
Yeah, sure. It's always difficult, like I say, because we really love Toronto, and for us it's like our second home after Spain, because all the things that happened in Toronto in 2 years, all it was amazing. Even the injuries, they were amazing, because all the staff, the medical staff we had, they treat me amazing. Then I have zero bad things to say about Toronto or about anyone. And the things that just wanted to say to the fans is that if they feel bad because I left in maybe not in the best moment or not in the right moment, it was because I get a chance. They have to understand also football sometimes is about money. It's about everything. And I was turning 32 years old, and we have to be honest. Football players, we are finishing our careers with 35, 36, if you are really lucky. And because I had also my injury on my right knee long time ago, I'm struggling sometimes with that. And I think I had to take the chance for me, for my family, for my kid, for my future. I know I'm struggling now because I'm not happy here playing football. Of course, I'm not happy, and everyone's know. I talk here with Xavi that he's coaching Al Sadd, the best team in Qatar. And he's okay, he's happy because now it's a new era for him. But the environment about football here has to grow a lot. Still, so far even from MLS. I don't talk from Europe, that Europe it's quite much bigger, but I'm talking about MLS. When the journalists ask me here about MLS, I say, you are so far. MLS, every game is so hard to win. Even if you play at home and against whatever, the last one, you're going to struggle because they are competitive, they are strong, physical, and here is not the same. It's only 12 teams. The culture about football is not the same. They are getting there, but it's not the same. And you miss that. And a player like me that we love football, we don't care, I say, about the money that much, but sometimes you have to care because you have to think about your future. Then it's hard because now I'm missing Toronto because I was enjoying every weekend about playing football. And here, sometimes when you go to play in the weekend, it's like, wow, now maybe I don't feel that I have to play, but it's my job. I have to do it.
Thank you so much for your honesty. That's fantastic. Really great, honest answer. And that, I think, Stevie, that's something that we always appreciate from Victor.
Yeah, absolutely honest. And it's fascinating to hear, Victor. And, you know, we know most leagues around the world, but I don't think we know a lot about Qatar and what football's like there. So that was fascinating. And as a follow-up, I'm thinking about, you know, are you 34 now? You're getting towards that magical age that we all try to get to, which is 35. And this next move coming up, if you indeed leave Qatar, is probably your last. Would you like that to be MLS and potentially TFC if the opportunity is there?
Yeah, of course, 100%. Totally agree. And I say to Bill also, I say before to Tim, before he left, Bebachenko, also to Greg, that I'm still talking with him. For me, it would be great to come back to Toronto. Even if I can come back as a player, it will be great because I will love it. And I don't care about the money. I just want to play again and feel professional and feel happy about football. And also I know that my family will be happy also. They are so happy here in Qatar because it's summer all year. We can go to the pool, we can go to the beach, and blah, 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 blah. But for me, this is like, okay, another thing. I still want to play football. I think I still have like at least 3 more years. I feel like that. And of course, it's this era now in Qatar, it's finished, and I can talk with the guys in Toronto, and we can find a way to come back. I will love it, honestly, because nowadays, I did 2 times, I think, only about money in my life, only 2 times. One time it was going from Bruges to Mexico. One mistake. And one time from TFC to Qatar. And I think another mistake in football way, I mean. And of course, I pay it a bit, but I have to think of my family. My family now are also happy. We have to be honest, and the people have to understand, we have more money because they pay more here, but nothing happened with this. It's football, it's business, and all of us and all of the fans and all the people has to understand. Football is a business also sometimes. It's not only about to play, and we are playing football, but like I say, 35, 36, you are done. What you do with your rest of your life? If you are smart, you can save money, and maybe you don't have to do anything, but maybe yes. Then it's not easy on that way.
Do you want to coach after you finish playing, Victor? Is that something you see in the future?
Good question. I already start this week with the first level. I'm already with the level A in Spain because I have a good friend that is working in one academy, and I already do the inscription there, subscribe there, and I'm in 3 months I'm gonna have already the level 1, and hopefully next summer I will do the second one.
Good stuff.
I'm ready, and I'm talking to Greg also, like sometimes funny stuff, you know, and I'm saying sometimes I will be the first coach and you will be my second.
Victor, let me ask you about Greg Vanney, because obviously he's still here. If you were to describe his greatest strengths as a coach, you wanting to be a coach, you obviously take little bits of everything. You worked obviously with Pep Guardiola. What would you say were Greg Vanney's greatest strengths for you as a player and for that team?
I think we have one common thing, that he has also a really good vision, but outside of the pitch, and how to manage all the games and how to prepare against the team, whatever the team it is. He has always a vision, and he knows how they're gonna play, and it's so easy to come out into the pitch and play because he gives you the perfect tips always. Even sometimes he does mistakes, like the players with you on the pitch, but after in the halftime he reacts and he gives you another one. Then I can say that his vision and his intelligence, it's amazing for me. And also the face-to-face with me always was the best coach I ever had, honestly. After Guardiola is Greg Vanney, because with Guardiola I had a special feeling, of course, but the next one is Greg, because we always could talk about everything, and we still talk about the team sometimes, because he knows that I'm watching many games from TFC, and he keeps asking me also sometimes, what do you think about this, or maybe we should play different, and I say, of course, you should, but you are the coach. I can give you my opinion, but you are doing always really good, and you can see that they got in another final the past season.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch that game, Victor?
Yeah, it was so hard. I never cry because I'm so also like not too sentimental, you know, but I almost cry. I feel really, really bad for them. But I think, honestly, this time Seattle deserved it more than TFC.
But Victor, let me ask you about that game. Alejandra Pezuela was brilliant in that game. And many people think about how Toronto FC just lost the game. He is a player that talked to you about moving to Toronto. I know, and that is the knock-on effect of having players linked to the club that can help get other players in there. What do you like about Pezuela's game? Well,
I think, like Bill said to me, he's like a younger Victor Vazquez. Because he's like a bit more faster sometimes, you know. Also, he has one skill that I really appreciate, that he can play with 2 feet, with the both feet, you know. That's amazing for a football player, because you can kick the ball, whatever, you can shoot, you can play a pass, everything. And the way he has it's amazing also for TFC. I know that he's going to fit immediately there. And the first game he played and he scored these 2 goals. Also, I'm so happy for him because he was talking a lot to me, asking that maybe he won't fit there because it's different style and what we think when we are coming from Europe. And I say to Alejandro, Ale, don't worry. You're going to fit. The good players always fit in a good teams. The problem is when a good player go to a bad team, then you have to show more. And then the people start to criticize you. And maybe it's not your fault. For sure it's your fault because you are a part of a team, but it's all the team. And when you go to a team like TFC, it's so easy. And Alejandro did an amazing season.
Do you guys keep in touch, Victor?
Yeah, not so much, honestly, right now. But yeah, we keep in touch like maybe once a month or once every 2 months. But of course, we keep in touch. But I keep in touch with a lot of teammates from there, with Michael a lot, with Greg a lot, with Marcelo the physio also, because he took care about me and about my family so good. And I have all the reminders are amazing from Toronto, honestly.
Judging by the comments from the fans that are watching this today, if you did come back ever, you wouldn't ever have to buy yourself another drink or a meal in a restaurant anywhere in Toronto, because there are lots of offers from people today that would do that for you.
Hopefully my family and we can come back one day to live again in Toronto, because we really miss it. And of course, if I come back, it will be like a player or maybe as a coach. You never know. But I would love to come back because it's amazing city, amazing country, and I have all the respect for this country.
Victor, thanks so much for giving your time today. I'm glad that you are staying safe, and great to hear some of the memories of your time in Toronto. Obviously, by the comments, you're loved still very deeply by a lot of TFC fans. So they've enjoyed watching this all around the world today. So really appreciate it, Victor.
Thanks, Victor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to you guys. And talk to you again. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Stay safe.
Victor. Stay safe, buddy. Yeah. Cheers.
There's Victor Vazquez with us.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Well, I think that wraps it up. We've managed to get through the hour pretty quickly. Victor Vazquez was sensational. Thanks again to him for joining us. Justin Morrow next week. We'll be here same time, same place. Thanks to everybody who's watched from around the world. It's been great to spend lunchtime with you on this Footy Talks today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Be well. Stay safe.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.